everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cassie if you're new here, and welcome to Cassie's Castle. So for today's video, I wanted to go through my Disneyland must-dos, things that I love to do every single time I go to Disneyland or most times that I go. So if you guys are interested, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up, make sure you guys subscribe, and let's get into it. I'm also someone that really sticks to like a routine. Like I know what I like and I kind of just do the same thing every single time, and I love it that way. I feel like every trip I take, maybe I'll try like a different snack or like a different drink, but for the most part, once I find something that I love, I just want it every time that I go. So I'm gonna go through my top 10 rides and then we'll do top 10 food items. Not in any particular order, but these are just rides that I always try and go on every single time I go to Disneyland. First ride is Thunder Mountain. This is actually my favorite ride ever. I just love this ride so much, at least at Disneyland. It's definitely like my favorite. I think it's so fun, and I am like a roller coaster kind of girly, so if you don't like roller coasters, then like these first 4 rides just may not be for you. I personally love roller coasters. I think they're so fun and I never get sick of them, and I feel like Thunder Mountain, out of all the roller coasters at Disneyland, I think Thunder Mountain is the best. The next ride is Space Mountain, and I do actually really love this ride too. I feel like this line is really long, so if you are going and you really want to get on this ride, I would say this should be like your first ride of the day, or maybe buy a fast pass if you don't get to go very often, because this line is definitely one of the long ones and it takes forever. I would definitely recommend doing this one. It's so fun. It's like a dark ride. You just feel like you're flying in the sky, which is, or like in space, which is really cool. The next ride is Splash Mountain, and I know people hate this ride, but I personally love it. It was actually my favorite ride as a kid. I just love water rides. This is kind of like an optional ride for me. If it is really cold, I'm not gonna go on this ride. In the summertime, I have to go on this ride at least once because it is so hot in Anaheim during the summer. I would probably hold off as much as possible for Splash Mountain, just because like I wouldn't go and make this like my first ride of the day because I don't want to be wet all day, and I usually like to take pictures like in the morning, so I usually wait till like maybe like 1 p.m. and then I'll go on Splash Mountain, and it's so fun. I love it. I think it's a great ride. Wear some t-shirt and some shorts and you can change out of it if you don't want to be like soaking wet all day. But I love this ride. Next we have Matterhorn, and this ride is not like one of my favorites, but I do love going on it every single time. There's another line that can get really long, so I would definitely recommend trying to tackle this one first. I know it's like really like a jerky kind of ride, so if you're someone that has like a bad back, then I wouldn't recommend going on this ride, but I think it's so fun. It's actually really great to go on it at night because you can kind of see the fireworks as well. So yeah, I definitely love Splash Mountain, or not Splash Mountain, Matterhorn. The next ride that we have is Winnie the Pooh, and this is actually one of my favorite rides at the park. I've kind of talked about this on Instagram, but I just feel like Winnie the Pooh, it just gives me like such a nostalgic feeling. I don't know, I just love Winnie the Pooh. I love the whole like area, like Critter's Corner. I just really love the Winnie the Pooh ride. I know some people think it's like kind of weird and like a little trippy, but I think it's really cute, and the wait time's always like 5, maybe 15 minutes the most, so it's like a great ride to just like hop on after Splash Mountain, you know? The next ride that I love is Peter Pan, and honestly Peter Pan and Snow White kind of go hand in hand for me. Like if I do Snow White, I probably won't do Peter Pan, but if I do Peter Pan, then I'll probably not do Snow White, so I usually pick one or the other. I really love Peter Pan just because I just love that it's like a dark ride and you feel like you're flying, which is so cool. The only thing that I don't like is how long the line is. It's usually like a 40-minute wait and you can't get a fast pass for it. It's also a really short ride, so it kind of makes the wait not worth it, so that's why I like pick and choose. Like maybe like every other trip I'll go on Peter Pan. Next ride is Astro Blasters, and Astro Blasters is in Tomorrowland, and this is so fun because if you're with someone, then you guys can like battle each other, see who can get the most points, which is so fun. But it's kind of like one of those rides where you like, I don't know, like you're Buzz Lightyear and you're like shooting the things. Like you're trying to get points the entire ride. So it's really fun, especially when you go with someone else. I feel like it's not as fun by yourself, but it's definitely fun when you have like a friend to like battle and see how many points you guys can get. So I love doing Astro Blasters. I think it's such a fun ride. And then the next ride that we have is Jungle Cruise, and Jungle Cruise is in Adventureland, and I really love this ride. I think it's so funny and I laugh at all the jokes every single time, even though I've heard them like over and over again. I think they're so funny. I love like all the puns, and you just like sit on a boat basically, and so it's great for like a family ride as well. Nothing too crazy goes on this ride, and you're just, I don't know, they just like entertain you while you're on the boat, and I love it. And I feel like the line isn't super long usually. Yeah, it's a fun one. I love Jungle Cruise. The next ride is Indiana Jones. I think it's one of the better rides at the park. It's such like a fun adventure. The only thing is that the line is ridiculously long. If you are only going like once for like the next 10 years, I would say get a fast pass or like Genie Plus or like whatever it's called. Like you don't want to wait in it, trust me. I will say the ride gets stuck a lot, which is really annoying. I've been lucky a few times to like get through the entire ride without it getting stuck, but it does get stuck a lot, so it's not very fun when it gets stuck. It's such a fun ride. I love it. The next ride, Haunted Mansion. I actually go on Haunted Mansion like every single time, I think. It's a dark ride and it's really chill. It's just like a relaxing kind of ride, and I feel like it's great, especially on like really hot days. If you go in the Haunted Mansion ride just to like feel the air conditioning, like it's such a vibe. Those are my top 10 rides that I go on every single time. Like there isn't a time where I've skipped these rides. Next, we're gonna talk about food, and I love to eat at Disneyland. It's my favorite thing to do, honestly, besides shopping. And I'm also just like more of a snacker. That's usually what I do when I go to the parks. I don't really do full meals, and you'll see with the list of things that I have, I just like feel like I'm constantly eating throughout the day, which is like more my vibe instead of just like sitting down and eating like 3 meals, if that makes sense. The first thing is the Cocoa Puff coffee from Galaxy's Edge. I love when you guys tag me in your photos of your Cocoa Puff coffee because it's seriously the best drink ever, and I love it. I sometimes have it like 3 times in a day. I think it's called like the Black Calf Cold Brew is what it's officially called. So don't look up Cocoa Puff coffee and hope to like order it. It's at Docking Bay 7, I believe, and it's in Galaxy's Edge. I am not like a huge coffee person, so it's not like strong, which is what I love. And you just really need to make sure that you mix it up. And if you watch the vlogs, then you know my obsession with this coffee. It is so good, you guys. It literally tastes like cereal. Next thing is the breakfast Ronto wrap. I've tried the regular Ronto wrap and it was good, just like wasn't my favorite. The breakfast one, however, is so good, and it's now a staple. Like I have to get it every time I go in the morning. You have to make sure that you obviously get to the parks early so you can enjoy the breakfast menu, but it is so good, you guys. Like I can't even explain it. It's basically like a hot dog, and it has like, I don't know, it feels like pita bread. Like it's so soft, and then it has like egg in it and cheese, and like a special sauce. Ugh. It's literally so good. Those two are like 100% a must do. Like you cannot skip those, and I cannot skip them every time I go. Next thing that we have is a lobster roll, and I've only had this once, but I need to have it again. And I feel like it's more of a summer vibe for me. Like when I think lobster rolls, I just think like summer, like ocean, you know? I'm definitely gonna have it this summer when I go back. It is like a little bit pricey. I wanna say it's like $15 for the roll, and it comes with a bag of chips, and it's not very filling, but it's so good. It's called like something Harbor, or it's called like Galleys Harbor, I think, and it's right across from Haunted Mansion, and it's so good. So I definitely recommend, and you can get like hidden tables behind the little building, so if you can't find seating, I like to sit back there and enjoy my lobster roll. Next thing are Disneyland pickles. This is my favorite Disney snack, are the pickles. I've had one like every trip, sometimes twice in a trip, starting from the age of like, I don't know, maybe 10. I just love pickles in general, and I feel like Disneyland pickles are just the best. They are expensive. They're like $4 for one pickle, but they're so good. I've never tried like the spicy ones, but the regular ones, amazing and just a must, especially when it's really hot. so refreshing to have a pickle. Next we have mint julep, which is a drink, and you can get this at the beignet bar. I think it's called the mint julep bar, and it's in New Orleans Square, and it is so good. I tried my first one a couple years ago and I was hooked. They have different flavors sometimes. They'll do like a strawberry flavor. I think the last time I went, I tried the passion fruit one, which is really good. There's different flavors depending on like the season. Even just like the classic mint julep, so good. And I feel like you can't drink it without some beignets on the side. I personally really like the Mickey beignets. I know like the Jazz Kitchen ones in Downtown Disney are better because they're like a little bit more full than the ones inside the park, but like I don't think they're just like bad. Like I get beignets every time and I think they're great, and they're Mickey shaped and they're cute. And with the mint julep, like I don't know, I think it's good. So I definitely love having that as a dessert, especially at the end of the night. So good. Next thing is Dole Whip. I love Dole Whip. I usually just do like the classic Dole Whip. Sometimes I'll do swirl. I've had like the swirl at Disney World and it was so good. It was like vanilla and pineapple Dole Whip, and that one's like amazing. At Disneyland, I'm not sure if they do that. I know the last time I went, they had like a watermelon flavor for Valentine's Day, so that one was great. I personally just love the Dole Whip. Even just like the classic Dole Whip is so great, especially on a hot day, ending the night to watch the fireworks with Dole Whip. It's just so good, you guys. And I think especially if you're going in the summer, I think it's the perfect dessert. So I would definitely recommend. They do have two locations where you can get Dole Whip from. So they have like the little stand that's in front of the tiki room, and that line can get pretty long. But then there's like another kind of restaurant, I can't remember the name right now, but it's like right behind it. So if that line's like too long, just like go to like the restaurant, and they also have Dole Whip. Next thing that we have is a churro. I feel like churros are just Disney staples. Like you have to go and get a churro at least one time. Not really a sweets girl. I love more of like a savory kind of food, so I never crave churros, but when I have a churro, I'm satisfied, you know? And I always love trying like the new types of churros. Like they have different churros with different dips depending on the season, and they're always so good. I remember one year they had like a Pixar themed celebration at Disneyland, and it was a carrot cake churro, and the dip was so good. Like they need to bring that back because it was amazing. I would definitely recommend getting at least one kind of churro. Even just like the classic churro is just so great, and you can get these anywhere in the parks. There's so many different stands. The last snack that I have is the asparagus wrapped in bacon skewer. This you can get across from Indiana Jones and Jungle Cruise. I used to love like the regular Bengal beef skewer, but the last two times that I've gone to Disneyland, it has been so chewy that it's like kind of hard to eat. I just haven't liked it the last two times, so I don't really know what's going on. Like I hope they just go back to like how it used to be because it used to be my favorite thing to get. But the asparagus wrapped in bacon has always been really good, and I think it's great. They give you like a little lemon, you can squeeze it on top, and it's like a really good snack. I know they also have like little platters that you can like add rice on the side to enjoy it. I just like those skewers, and they're just like easy to like eat. That is my last snack to share, and my favorite restaurant in the entire park to eat at is the Plaza Inn. I love the Plaza Inn. It is right in the center of Main Street, and it is so good, you guys. If you really want to like sit down and eat something and get like a big meal, they have like 3 different like main dish options. So they have like pasta, which is great, super classic, and they give you like a breadstick. There's also the roast beef, which is what I usually get. I love the roast beef. It comes with like mashed potatoes and vegetables, so good. Also have the fried chicken platter, which is like the same thing as the roast beef one, but it's fried chicken. It is so good. Like literally I've had every single meal and it's always good. I recommend. It is like a really big portion too, so it'll really hold you over for a long period of the day, and the plates I think are like $20 a plate. So if you have like a big family, it can definitely add up, but like I said, you'll be full for a good portion of the day, so you probably won't end up buying a lot of snacks, which, you know, like balances it out. They also have like salads and stuff, different desserts. I usually don't do those. I usually just get like the roast beef plate, and I love it. Those are all of my snack and food recommendations. There's also like other activities that I definitely love doing. Like I love going on the Mark Twain boat, like the big white boat, and it just like takes you around like I think it's called Rivers of America. I love it. It's really like relaxing. It's fun to explore the boat itself, and it gives you just like a nice little tour. I also really like doing the train ride. It just takes you around the entire park, and I personally really love doing that. It's really nice, especially when you walk all day, to like just have like a ride where you can just sit and relax and kind of like enjoy like a little storyline, get to see the views of the park. I love doing the train at night. Those are like kind of like optional things that I like to do. I don't do them every time, but like sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, like I love going on these, so I do that. I love watching the fireworks show. I feel like a Disney trip is just not complete without staying for fireworks. Like, you just have to go and stay for fireworks. Fireworks are always so fun. I love watching them. I love watching the parades, Christmas parades, Halloween parade, even just like the regular parades. They're always just so fun. The best way to end your night though is with Fantasmic. I know Fantasmic is supposed to be coming back this summer, which I'm so excited for because I have missed this show so much. It is the best Disney show, period. You cannot convince me otherwise. I literally love Fantasmic so much. The best, like, you have to watch it every single time. They do fireworks, so if you miss the fireworks show, you can definitely just watch the Fantasmic show and your night will be complete. And yeah, that's like pretty much it. Obviously, I love to shop. I just shop at like every store. And there's obviously things that I do sometimes that I don't do other times, like teacups, Small World, things like that. And I always love trying new treats, but for the most part, this is like my consistent list. Like, I know these are good things. I stick by this list of food. I stick by these rides. Like, I know they'll never let me down, and I'm always in the mood for them. Those are my Disneyland favorites. Let me know what yours are. I would love to chat about it in the comments. Okay, before we end the video, Rise of the Resistance, I know I've never been on it. So if you're planning on going to the parks, I know people love Rise of the Resistance, recommend doing it. I've never done it, so that's why I didn't include it in my list, because I can't give you my honest opinion because I've never done it. But from what I've heard, it's like the best ride. The line is usually like 3 hours long, so make sure that you do your best to get on the ride as quickly as you can. I've just never done it. I know, don't come for me. I hope to do it soon. I just haven't. That's it for today's video. Let me know if you guys want one for California Adventures, because I love going to California Adventures, and I could definitely make like a whole video on that. But that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what your thoughts in the comments, and like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.